Hello everyone. Today we will learn very important part, or you can say the basic part of the immunology, that is the components of the immune system. So when we say immune system, what are the important components of immune system? That is the organs, cells and the chemicals. So basically there are three components of this immune system. So when we talk of lymphoid organs, so there are two type of organs. One are the central lymphoid organs, another are the peripheral lymphoid organs. So central lymphoid organs which are synthesizing these immune system cells. Now this consists of two important organs, that is one is the bone marrow, another is the thymus. And when we talk of peripheral these lymphoid organs, it consists of lymph node, spleen and mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, or you can say MALT. So this is the important thing which we will discuss today, that is the lymphoid organs. Now other than that, the cells are also important part of immune system. Now these lymphoid cells, you can say the major part is of those of lymphocytes, T lymphocytes or B lymphocytes, and the NK cells, that are the natural killer cells, and these natural killer cells are very important as they are present since birth. T cells and B cells play a role once your system being exposed to antigen, but these natural killer cells, they are active from since birth, and they are important many things related to NK cells that we will discuss later in the further slides. Then other cells of the immune system, so important cells are T, B and natural killer, and other which are also playing the role in this immune system includes the macrophages. They are very important, macrophages. Then little bit lesser importance to the other cells, if we are saying it them microphages. So it includes your neutrophil, eosinophils, your platelets, mast cells, so all these things. So they all constitute the cells. Then the third component is the chemical messengers. So these are the cytokines. They are the soluble products which are secreted from these immune cells. So basically three components are there. One is the organ, another are the cells, and third is the chemical messenger. Organs are synthesizing these cells, and these cells are releasing the chemical messenger, and they all are playing an important role while dealing with these antigens, or you can say the foreign things which are entering in the body. So now in detail we will know about the central lymphoid organ. So there are two central lymphoid organs, one is the bone marrow, another is the thymus. So all the cells which are present in the blood, they are being synthesized in the bone marrow. That is being called as a hematopoiesis. In the early fetal life, this hematopoiesis starts in the liver. Then it shifts to the bone marrow. That is, the stem cells, they occupy most of the bone marrow which is present in the large bones. So first it is liver, then in the large bones, and then it shifts to the axial bones. That is the after puberty. So axis, that is the axis of your body. It includes pelvis, vertebrae present in the spine, sternum, skull and ribs. So all those bones which are the axial bones, so they are the bone marrow, this is present, and this hematopoiesis occurs. Now the further development, so these cells which are the T cells and the B cells, they are being synthesized in the bone marrow, but their maturation is being take place according to their name. If it is B cell, so it will mature in the bone marrow. If it is T cells, they are maturing in the thymus. So just according to the name you can remember which will be mature in which organ. But the synthesis of all the cells occur in the bone marrow. Now we come to the thymus. So this you can see the structure of thymus. So basically this thymus you can broadly remember from the medical point of view that you have the cortex. Peripheral region is the cortex, and in the center it is medulla. So the cells of the thymus are being called as the lymphocytes. So lymphocytes of the thymus being called as the name as the thymocytes. Now these thymocytes, they are more in number and immature in the cortex. So whatever lymphocytes which are coming for maturity, they are mainly in the cortical region. And when they get mature, they will shift to the medulla. So in medulla, they are mature and less in number, whereas in cortex, they are many and immature. So it is the site of proliferation and maturation of T cells. So progenitor cells are being synthesized in the bone marrow, and the further proliferation and maturation occur in the T cell. It is highly active at birth, and maximum it reaches to the puberty, and then it starts degenerating. So that I have already told you, that is the cortex. So basically in cortex they are the immature cells, and in medulla they are the mature lymphocytes. So maturation of the T cell, how these T cell get mature, that is the cell to cell interaction occurs between the thymocytes and the thymic stromal cells. So in the stroma there are other cells are also present, like the epithelial cells, dendritic cells, macrophages. So they all are the antigen presenting cells. So whenever certain foreign thing any enters, like any virus, any bacteria, so when they are being exposed to these cells, so they get activated. So that is the maturation of the T cells in the thymus. Now there is another term that takes place in the thymus, which is known as the central tolerance. Now what is this central tolerance? That is only 2 to 5% of the developing T cells, they become mature and release out from the thymus. So out of the total cells, only 2 to 5% will be mature, and they will be released in the circulation. The remaining are being destroyed. Why? Because either they have not been recognized with the help of the major histocompatibility complex, or they are self-reacting in nature. So if there is no proper antigen presentation occur, or if there is when the presentation has been done and it has been shown that they are dangerous to our own body, so they will be destroyed within the thymus. So such tolerance, protecting such type of self antigen, protecting our body from these antigen, that is the role of this thymus, and it occurs in the embryonic life. It is called as central tolerance. So this is very important to protect your body from the autoimmunity. That means your antigen are reacting against yourself. So they all being destroyed in the thymus only. That is known as the central tolerance. Now we come to the peripheral lymphoid organs. So among the peripheral lymphoid organs, we have the lymph node, we have spleen, and we have mucus associated lymphoid tissue. So when we say of the lymph node, so actually they are like a bean shaped nodes are present, and they act as the physiological barrier. So basically whenever certain microbial antigen comes, so they are being carried to the lymph node by the activating T cell and B cell. This you can see the peripheral lymphoid organ. So it has three zones. One is the cortex, then center is the paracortex, and medulla, that is the third zone, is the medulla zone. So in this, the medulla zone is for B cell, and this paracortex is rich in the T cell. And in the cortex you have this primary follicle and the secondary follicle. So in the primary follicle B cells are there, and in second they are in the resting phase. And how this primary follicle convert to the secondary follicle? So when some antigen comes, when they are exposed, and these B cells are exposed to this antigen, so there will be activation of the B cell occur. So that means from the resting they go to, and they will convert to the plasma or the memory cells. Plasma cell will form the antibodies, and memory cells will keep that information for the future. So these are the follicles which you can see in the cortex region. And then your this paracortex is rich in T cell and the medulla is in the B cell. Now we come to spleen. So that is the largest lymphoid organ, and you can see there is a red pulp and the white pulp. Red pulp is rich in the RBCs. So if there are any old and you can say not properly functional RBC, they are being destroyed there. And in the white pulp, basically they are mainly having the your immune cells are there, and they are playing the major role in clearing the many microbial infections. Now, if due to any reason the spleen has been removed or it is not functional, that is, so there is increase in the chance of bacterial sepsis. It is a very favorite question for the viva or the grand viva. So if there is some occur the splenectomy or some functional abnormality occur, that means the spleen is not able to function properly. So there is increase in the chance of the bacterial sepsis, because the spleen is the largest lymphoid organ and it is clearing most of the microbes. So if some problem occurs in it, so there is increase in the chance of capsulated bacteria. And what are these three bacteria which is being asked in the vivas MCQs? That is the one is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, which cause pneumococcus. Another is the Neisseria meningitidis, which cause meningitis due to this Neisseria, and Haemophilus influenza. So they all are three capsulated organisms. So chance of the capsulated organism infection increase. So then the third is the mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Now these mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, these are the loose clusters of the lymphoid cells, and they are arranged as organized structure like in the tonsil, in the appendix. So these are the lymphoid cells. Basically they have been clustered in some places like in tonsil, appendix, Peyer's patches. So they are the MALT tissue. So they also play an important role in the immune system. So that's all. There will be next video which will be on the cells of the immune system, and the third will be on the major histocompatibility complex and on the cytokines. So thanks for paying attention.